Yo, what's up, guys? You're watching Epic Pokemon TCG, and today's video, guys, what I have for you, I'm going to be showing you a Breloom Froslass deck. Now, this deck is actually pretty cool for a couple of reasons. The first one is, outside of Custom Catcher, honestly, this deck is going to be pretty cheap. I don't really think any of the cards on screen besides that one are going to be too expensive. I know Custom Catcher kind of varies depending on what you can find. And the other one is we're taking two one-prize attackers that take a single energy to attack, and we're throwing them together and we're just working wonders with it. This deck is kind of geared towards where you don't necessarily have to face off against like certain decks, for it to work. But if you're able to hit those certain matchups, this deck's gonna be a lot better. And I figure we'll go ahead and kick things off here, guys, with Breloom. So Breloom has two cool attacks here. The first one, of course, is going to be Spore. You just put your opponent's active to sleep. And then Pre-Dawn Strike. Spore kind of sets this up, but we have a faster, more consistent, efficient way, that sounded redundant, to set up Pre-Dawn Strike. So Pre-Dawn Strike is going to do 30 damage, and if your opponent's active is asleep, is going to do 90 more damage. So that's going to be 120 damage for a single grass energy. And if they don't wake up, they're stuck unless they have a switch or something like that, or a skateboard. But just certain matchups, if it's asleep, then it's asleep. You really can't do anything. But there is a lot of stuff to get outside of sleep. So basically, if you're able to get some benefits from sleep, then awesome. But another card we're going to be running in here to kind of help out Breloom is going to be Diancie. Diancie is going to give it additional 20 damage. So that means your pre-dawn strike is going to be doing 140. So if you're able to hit certain tag team Pokemon or just certain Pokemon in general twice, that is going to be 280. So you're going to be able to take some knockouts there, which is pretty nice. But the major card that is going to be helping out Breloom a bunch is going to be Mareep with Fluffy Pillow. Basically, when Mareep's in your active spot, you can put a Pokemon to sleep, and it only has one retreat cost. So that means we can run U-turn board, retreat it, send up Breloom, and just kind of go from there. So Fluffy Pillow, you're just going to put it to sleep right there, boom, and then you pre-dawn strike it, attack, and yeah, that's pretty much the setup there. Now, I faced off against like straightforward versions of this deck online, but I prefer the version with Froslass. And that's just because Froslass gives you another type to mess with, another type to attack with. It has Spiteful Sigh for 20, and you can put up to 7 damage counters on this Pokemon, and this attack does 20 damage for each damage counter you placed on it this way. So essentially, what you're going to be doing here is really you can use this against any Pokemon. I mean, 140 could really be beneficial to you. But at the same time, you're really going to be knocking out any fire type Pokemon you happen to come across with this Pokemon. Froslass is a little god. I am very surprised at how well it just works when you hit those fire matchups. I've had it online before, I've seen it, and it's pretty cool. I like this card. And the second attack, ironically enough, puts your opponent's Pokemon to sleep. Icy Wind does 40. So I mean, you can initially set up pre-dawn strike with Froslass and icy wind. That's an option. You can definitely do that. But the lines we're going to be running in here, guys, are going to be a 4/4 Breloom, a 2/2 Froslass, 3 Mareep, and of course 1 Diancie and 1 Ditto to close out the Pokemon. Ditto is just in here, of course, because our main stuff is one prize attackers, so Almighty Evolution is going to help out a lot there. Now for the supporters, it is very generic. We have 4 Cynthia, 4 Lily, and then we have a Brock's Grit. Now Brock's Grit's basically going to keep your attackers out on the field. It's going to kind of keep you working and keep you, functioning throughout the game, as far as like energy and such. And this is also where Ditto kind of comes into play as well. You do put back 6. That means, something might get lost in the fray if you're, shuffling in like 3 energy, in 3 Pokemon. You can grab like if you're facing off against something Breloom would be really good against, you can grab like a 1/1 line of it, snag an extra Breloom and then 3 energy because you have Ditto to fall back on. It's just really whatever situation it might call for. Brock's Grid can definitely help you out there. Hopefully I explained that to where it makes sense. The next card we're going to be taking a look at is going to be Pokegear. This is just going to allow you to look at the top 7, get a supporter, help your consistency out a little bit. And speaking of consistency, we also have Acrobike in here. You just look at the top 2 cards of your deck, choose one, and put it in your hand. The other one goes to your discard pile, just to help kind of function and get through your deck a little quicker. And then we also have Netball. Netball is going to serve a couple purposes in here, honestly. Netball is just a really, really solid card just because it can pull energy straight out of the deck. You never know. Sometimes you might whiff on energy, but Netball can definitely come in clutch. On top of that, you can search out Shroomish, which is really nice. For the most part, though, I definitely do grab the Grass Energy. Since there is only 3 in here, that is a good idea to grab those. The next card we're going to take a look at is going to be U-Turn Board. The retreat cost of this Pokemon this card is attached to is 1 less. So that means if you have it on a Mareep, it is a free retreat cost. And if this card is discarded from play, put it in your hand instead of the discard pile. So that means U-Turn Board, you're going to be getting that recycle effect, and you can keep using it, which is pretty nice. Also, if you need to, you can shuffle in Mareep with Brock's Grit as well if you, for some reason, they knock out your Mareep or pull it up off the bench or something like that. You guys get it. Speaking of searching Pokemon, I probably should have done this after Netball. We have Pokemon communication in here. You put a Pokemon from your hand, put it back in your deck, grab one, and then there you go. We have all kinds of Pokemon in here to choose from, 17 exactly. So Pokemon communication can be a pretty handy card. The next card we have is Custom Catcher. So Custom Catcher has two effects on it. The first one is if you just play one, you draw until you have 3 cards in your hand. And the second one is if you play 2 cards, you just pretty much get to bring up one of your opponent's Pokemon off the bench. With this deck, and with you having to hit like certain types and such, you can really time your Custom Catchers out, or you can even possibly win a game if just off of 2 Custom Catchers if you're able to hit some tag team Pokemon. But Custom Catcher is really nice. You're just able to bring stuff up off the bench. Also, you might not one-shot everything you find. Your opponent will just retreat it and have it sitting on the bench. So you can catch it up, get some free prizes out of it, which is really nice. And then we have 2 switch in here as well. We bring up a Mareep, do Fluffy Pillow. We need to get it out of the active spot if we don't have U-Turn Board, or if like Diancie is stuck in the active spot or just something like that, or we just need to switch a Pokemon out in general. We have switch in here, which is really nice. For some reason, I have 24 of these online. No idea why. And then we're going to close out with Power Plant. Now, you can run a stadium where your opponent flips 2 coins to, wake up. You can run Shrine of Punishment. I personally thought Power Plant would be a really nice effect. That would be really good to use. Just, no abilities to kind of shut down my opponent's deck a little bit. And then we're going to round out the deck with 4 unit energy. This is beautiful because this has both water and grass on it. So that means Froslass and Breloom can attack with both of them. And then we have the 3 grass energy to round out the deck. Now, this deck is very cheap to build. I don't know exactly how much Custom Catcher is, but the rest of the stuff in here is actually pretty cheap, I'll be honest with you. And on top of that, this deck is pretty fun. I like it. Um, and yeah, really, like the strategy is very simple. You can attack with Breloom, you can attack with Froslass, just whatever. It's just kind of a simple, straightforward strategy. There's not really too much to go into it. But I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, guys. You know what to do. And I want to say thank you all so much for all the continued support. I love you guys. You make this a lot of fun. When I go on videos and I see that you guys been hitting that thumbs up button, it means a lot to me. And so yeah, hope you all have a great day. Take care. And this is Epic Pokemon TCG signing out.
Don't forget to like, follow, and obey.